Episode 216A, Cave Dwelling Sponge. When a prehistoric sponge causes chaos all over Bikini Bottom when unfrozen, only Spongebob can be the one to communicate with him. This episode is odd. There's stuff I like about the episode, and then there's stuff I don't like about the episode. There are a handful of gags and lines that I actually did enjoy, and it did make me chuckle, or at least smile. Some amusing gags like SpongeBob pressing the bun with his nose, the lady's tongue screaming after eating a piece of a Krabby Patty that had the patty replaced by a motor piece, SpongeBob's tiny hands in handcuffs, and Squidward's line when SpongeBob brings in the caveman were pretty funny. And I also liked the lines Perch Perkins gave in the episode. One of them you can see in the corner right there. However, there are some not so good things going for the episode. As much as I do like some of the jokes and gags in this episode, there are some jokes and gags that I flat out did not like. A good number of the jokes feel kinda dumb. Like Patrick getting his tongue stuck on the ice cube was really just the lowest hanging of fruit. Plus the scene where Patrick hurts his tongue with the rock is really disturbing. And then we get to the caveman, who I really don't like. The caveman wanting to have SpongeBob's shoes isn't really funny. Plus, I don't get why he wants SpongeBob's shoes. It really isn't explained much. Plus, much of what he says is just squeaky squeaky whenever he sees the shoes, which comes off as way more annoying than actually funny. Also, the actions he does when he's not after SpongeBob's shoes is just random chaos, which isn't really that funny. It's a kind of random chaos that's been on the show before, and they don't put any new spin on it. Also, the plot just kind of goes at a fast pace. First it's about SpongeBob and Patrick on this nature walk, then it's about this caveman's following SpongeBob, then it's about the caveman causing destruction, then it's about SpongeBob getting framed, then it's about the caveman serving and making a bunch of patties, with the patties being replaced by bits of car motor. Then it's about SpongeBob trying to tame the caveman. What I'm trying to say is that this episode tries to cram so many things in 11 minutes that it really doesn't have any breathing room. The episode just feels like a bunch of random ideas crammed together into one episode instead of just a couple of ideas. All in all, the episode is just meh. There are some things to like about the episode, but the story is just so cluttered. The Caveman character came off as way more annoying than funny, and some of the humour just feels so dumb and obvious. But it's a meh episode. Episode 216B, The Clam Whisperer. When a flock of clams descend upon Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob has to be the one to get them out before they ruin the whole town. I will say that I like the different species of clams that are featured when SpongeBob and Patrick are clam watching, and I like the man playing the sad music in the background with the violin, and yeah, Krabs getting hit on the head with a clam was kinda funny, but by and large this episode is just A lot of the jokes from Patrick in this episode are just so dumb, easy, and obvious, like him getting tangled up and him eating a trail of Krabby Patties that SpongeBob made for the clams. Also, there's a scene where the clams swim in Patrick's drawer, which is just gross. Also, there's a poop joke they make with the clams on Squidward's house. If that wasn't enough, the plot for the most part is pretty much jellyfish jam. Again! SpongeBob brings a wild animal, it causes havoc, he brings it back to wild, it's just plain simple. He also rips off Spongehenge, in that the wild animal causes havoc at the Krusty Krab, and it also takes cues from Nature Pants, in that SpongeBob pretends to be the wild animal in the wild. And I'll forgive this if this episode was funny, but for the most part, it isn't funny. Also, the way Squidward was freaking out came off as more odd than actually funny. Yeah, this episode's a scumbag. Admittedly, it's not the worst scumbag in the world, but it has a rehashed plot, weak comedy, and not much of anything is really noteworthy or interesting about the episode. It's just all around a subpar episode, at best.